Hi there, I'm Kounin and today I will be talking about the theory of instructional management. Here I present to you the American pedagogue and theorist Jacob S. Kounin. He wrote about a title Discipline and Group Management in Classrooms, and in his model for instructional management he articulates the following. In order to be effective instructors and managers, teachers have to demonstrate appropriate teaching behaviors, maintain appropriate instructional momentum, work toward group focus, and plan a learning environment that is conducive to learning and behavior. Of course, he had some aims in mind to connect with students, and he believed that if there's a mutual understanding, then there should be no reason for trouble in a classroom. And he proposed that through pacing and transitioning, there would be a smoothness so that students can move along to reach mastery and understanding. And in order to do this, teachers have to set expectations, which must involve the students in the lesson by creating fun and challenging activities for them to learn from. Then on, he had positive instructional behaviors and negative instructional behaviors. Here we'll focus on the positive instructional behaviors, and that included witness, overlapping, desists, and group focus. Now, to begin, witness is the teacher's ability to perceive or foresee the classroom environment. At the same time, they are able to convey to students what they want or don't want without having to pass and address the disruption. Pretty much what witness is whenever a teacher could see behind their back or having eyes behind their back, but really is that they're paying attention to all of the situations of the classroom at all times, so that they could know whenever a misbehavior occurs, or if there is any other type of problem that needs to be addressed or that can be addressed at a later time. To continue, overlapping is being able to multitask and handle two situations at once to maintain momentum. Let's say, for example, that a child is not paying attention, so instead of pausing and calling out on the child and interrupting every other student that is engaged, you keep on with the lesson and just walk to the student and give him a stare or any other kind of nonverbal direction that he could know that he's supposed to stop that misconduct. Then on is desist, and that occurs as a ripple effect when the teacher corrects misbehavior in one student, and this positively influences the behavior of other students. Now, desist may or may not occur as planned, but it can happen if the teacher addresses the situation positively and doesn't mistreat the student and respects what a student believes in without harsh punishment. Then I included group focus, and group focus, what it does is engages using accountability. And here students work together and they have a rubric or a plan of what they're being tested on and how they're being tested, and they're held accountable to those standards so that they won't go off task. Following are the negative instructional behaviors. This include satiation, flip-flops, slowdowns, jerkiness or thrust, and stimulus bound. To start, satiation is the product of student disengagement due to an overextension of a lesson or too much explanation for simple tasks. This can lead to boredom and other misbehaviors. Flip-flops is when students get lost in the back and forth between instructions and begin to withdraw as they get frustrated with the procedures. Now, to elaborate on flip-flops is whenever a teacher gives a direction, like turn the page 200, and the students turn to page 200, but then he's like, and then they're like, all right, read, and then they start reading, and then they're like, so what did you think about the problem, about the previous problem you did that was done before turning to page 200 and reading? Which confuses students because they're like, why are you going back to that when we are already reading this page? And then our slowdowns, and that's necessary steps that can shorten or exclude from a class. That's just slowdowns occur whenever the teacher gives steps that are just unnecessary, like counting 100, 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time students get to 100, they will forget why they were doing it in the first place, and they will be bored. Then after our jerkiness and thrust, and this happens when the teacher interjects with an unrelated comment during a lesson or group activity. Let's say he's teaching students how to add and models it for students, and then the students are adding, and then he just asks, it's nice outside, isn't it? Well, the students are sure gonna lose focus and they're not gonna add. And then finally is stimulus bound, and the teacher gets and this happens when the teacher gets distracted and the students do so as well. Let's say the teacher is teaching a lesson and suddenly he sees an ambulance going by, and he looks through the window, and of course the students are gonna also look through the window since they see the teacher looking over their shoulder. Now, in conclusion, what should we learn from positive instructions behavior and negative instruction behavior? We should learn that intervention is key, and that we should intervene early before the behavior escalates or before any other type of misconduct or interruption happens, and we should only intervene if needed. That being said, we should address issues that are important, such as bullying or those type of problems, and we should probably ignore small problems as a student dropping their pencil. Now, we should use routines and concise explanations in our lessons. This means that whenever students get to class, we should have on the board, on the projector, some type of objective or guidance so that students can know what they will do, whether it be a worksheet or a warm-up. Students should know the structure of the classroom before they even step inside it, and this will give clarity to the students so that they could know what to expect, and this will keep them busy and on task on most works and most of the time. And last but not least, students should be informed of their progress, and we should add variety to our lessons. Alright, the first part is that in informing students of their progress, they are likely to perform better because they know what they need to do in order to get that A, or they know that if they don't do their work, they're not gonna get that A. And since it's their choice, you're giving them a choice to decide whether they want to perform better, stay the same, or do worse. And at the end of the day, they can come back to you and say, well, you didn't tell me. Yes, you told them right from the start. And by adding variety to lessons, you keep students engaged and reduce satiation or boredom. This is good because students will see the classroom as a place where they could learn and expand their knowledge through different activities. Not only that, but students will find your classroom interesting and are likely to stay engaged on the long run. Finally, a higher level question, and I decided on Which is the most effective method to maintain instructional management, and what could you do to prevent a negative one from occurring? And why?